Welcome to the Federal Financial Reporting Made Easy Step-by-Step Guide Learning Series, presented by the Office of Conservation Investment Training Team. Prior to viewing this video, please watch our tutorial on completing the SF425. In this video, we'll demonstrate how a recipient of a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Financial Assistance Award can accurately complete the transactions section, specifically fields 10D through 10O, of their final federal financial report. Before we jump into our scenarios, let us first introduce the 5-step process we will be using to determine the information needed to complete the SF425. The amounts used are based upon the amounts listed in the Notice of Award and the actual expenditures upon completion of the award period of performance. Step 1. The recipient adds the value of any applicable third-party in-kind contributions to the total amount of direct and indirect costs charged to the award. Step 2. The recipient removes any overmatch from the adjusted outlays calculated in Step 1. The term overmatch refers in general to those costs that exceed the federal award amount but were still necessary and reasonable for completion of the award objectives and activities. Step 3. The recipient takes the adjusted outlays from Step 2 and subtracts the total program income earned during the award period of performance. Important in this step is that the program income is subtracted only when there is a federal component. Any program income earned using the cost share method is not subtracted in this step. Step 4. The recipient calculates the federal share of expenditures, as well as any applicable recipient cost share amounts, by multiplying the adjusted outlays from Step 3 by the federal and cost share percentages of the award. And Step 5. The recipient calculates the share of their expenditures by adding the overmatch amount from Step 2 plus the recipient's share of any deductive and additive program income to the recipient share amount determined from Step 4. This video scenario is suited for a recipient who receives a service award that includes a mandatory recipient cost sharing requirement, no third-party in-kind contributions, and no program income earned during the award period of performance. Let's get started. In this scenario, a recipient receives a federal award with a mandatory cost share requirement of 25%. The total award amount is $400,000. The federal share of the award is $300,000, or 75% of the total project cost. The recipient provides the remaining $100,000, or 25% of the total project cost. In this scenario, the recipient does not anticipate that program income will be earned during the period of performance. Upon completion of the project, the recipient has charged a total of $403,000 in direct and indirect project-related costs to the award. This means that the cost of completing the project was higher than the $400,000 that the recipient budgeted for. These additional costs should be included in the recipient's cost share as overmatch. There were no third-party in-kind contributions applied to the award. Additionally, no program income was earned during the award period of performance. Next, let's walk through how the recipient calculates the values to enter on their award final federal financial report. The first step is for the recipient to add the value of any applicable third-party in-kind contributions to the total amount of direct and indirect costs charged to the award. Since there were no third-party in-kind contributions, the adjusted outlays are $403,000. In Step 2, the recipient removes any overmatch from the adjusted outlays. In this scenario, overmatch includes those costs charged to the award in excess of $400,000. The $3,000 difference incurred by the recipient is considered overmatch, which is removed in Step 2. In Step 3, the recipient takes the adjusted outlays from Step 2 and subtracts the total amount of program income that was earned during the award period of performance. In this scenario, no program income was earned, therefore we subtract 0 from the adjusted outlays. In Step 4, the recipient calculates the federal share of expenditures by multiplying the adjusted outlays by the award federal and cost share percentages. The federal share of the award is 75%, and the recipient has a mandatory 25% cost-sharing requirement. To determine the federal share of expenditures, the recipient multiplies the adjusted outlays from Step 3 by 0.75. The resulting federal share of expenditures is $300,000. The required cost share is determined by multiplying the same adjusted outlays from Step 3 by 0.25 to get $100,000. Finally, in Step 5, the recipient calculates their share of expenditures by adding the $3,000 overmatch amount from Step 2 plus any recipient share of program income to the $100,000 required cost share amount determined from Step 4. This results in a total recipient share of $103,000. From these 5 steps, the recipient has the data they need to accurately complete fields 10D through 10O of their final federal financial report. Fields 10D through 10H provide information about the expenditure of federal funds and any remaining unspent balance of federal funds as of the reporting period end date. For 10D, the recipient identifies the total federal funds authorized. This amount is $300,000 and comes directly from Field 11M Federal Share on the Grant Solutions Notice of Award. Field 10E represents the federal share of expenditures. This amount is $300,000 and comes from Step 4, where the recipient calculated the federal share of award expenditures. Field 10F represents the federal share amount of any recipient unspent obligations. Since this is a final federal financial report and our scenario states that the award is completed, this amount is 0. In Field 10G, the recipient adds the values in both 10E and 10F to get $300,000. Lastly, in Field 10H, the recipient reports any unspent federal funds remaining at the end of the federal award. This value is determined by subtracting the value in 10G from the value in 10D. In this scenario, the recipient expended all the federal funds, as this amount is 0. Fields 10I through 10K provide information about the recipient share of expenditures and any remaining recipient share to be provided as of the reporting period end date. For 10I, the recipient identifies the total recipient share required. This amount is $100,000 and comes from Field 11N on the Grant Solutions Notice of Award. Field 10J represents the recipient share of the expenditures. This amount is $103,000 and comes from Step 5, where the recipient added the overmatch and any recipient share of program income earned to the recipient share amount calculated in Step 4. Field 10K represents the remaining recipient share to be provided. This amount is determined by subtracting the value in 10J from the value in 10I. The remaining recipient share is 0, although the straight calculation may indicate a value of -$3,000. In either case, this indicates that no additional recipient share needs to be provided. Fields 10L through 10O provide information about the federal share of program income earned under the award as of the reporting period end date. For this scenario, there was no program income earned, so each field is 0. We hope this example video was helpful in your completion of the SF425. For additional SF425 examples, please see the other videos in this series.